Sterling Automotive Repair Shop. Jamal Carter, 36 years old, single dad, dark skin weathered by long hours under the sun, oil-stained coveralls, grease under his fingernails. He's fixing a transmission on a brand new SUV. CEO Victoria Sterling walks in, 31, ice-cold reputation. She's inspecting the shop floor. She frowns when she sees Jamal using an old military pressure test method. Victoria's voice cuts through the entire workshop. "This isn't a military base. You're fired, effective immediately." The whole shop goes silent. Jamal clenches his fists, bows his head, his voice barely a whisper. "I still have the afternoon shift. I need money for my daughter's medicine." Victoria turns, walks away, no emotion. Jamal steps outside the gate. Then, helicopter blades thundering, shaking the ground. A Navy MH-60R Seahawk drops into the parking lot. An officer shouts through a megaphone, "We're here for Lieutenant Commander Raven 6. The entire shop frozen. Jamal Carter wasn't always a mechanic, but nobody at Sterling Automotive knew that. To them, he was just another worker, oil under his nails, exhaustion in his eyes, always taking the worst shifts. The truth? Jamal was a single dad raising his 8-year-old daughter, Nia. Nia had chronic asthma, severe episodes, the kind that meant emergency room visits, expensive medications, bills that never stopped coming. So Jamal worked double shifts, sometimes triple. Oil changes in the morning, transmissions in the afternoon, engine rebuilds at night. He never complained, never asked for help, never told anyone why he needed the money so badly. The other mechanics noticed things about Jamal, though. Strange things. Like how he could diagnose an engine problem in 3 seconds just by listening. "Check the valve timing on cylinder 4, he'd say, without even opening the hood. And he'd be right, every single time. One of the younger mechanics joked once, "You're like a special ops guy listening for enemy aircraft or something." Jamal just smiled, didn't respond. They also noticed his toolbox, military green, scratched and dented, serial number scratched off, NATO stock codes barely visible. Nobody knew where it came from. Jamal never explained. At home, in their tiny apartment, things were different. Nia would sit at the kitchen table doing homework, wheezing slightly, her inhaler always within reach. Jamal would cook dinner, simple food, mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, whatever stretched the budget. But Nia never felt poor because her dad made everything an adventure. "Did you know," Jamal would say, "that transmissions are like puzzles? You have to find the one piece that's wrong." Nia would beam, "Dad knows everything." She was his whole world. Every decision he made, every shift he took, every moment of exhaustion he pushed through, it was all for her. Meanwhile, at the top-floor executive office, Victoria Sterling sat behind a massive desk, reviewing quarterly reports. She was 31 but looked older. Stress aged people fast. She'd inherited Sterling Automotive from her father 2 years ago when he died suddenly. The board doubted her, the investors questioned her, the employees whispered, "She's too young, too emotional. She'll run it into the ground." So Victoria became ice. No mistakes allowed, no excuses accepted, no weakness shown. Control everything or lose everything. That was her father's last lesson. She walked the shop floors daily, clipboard in hand, looking for inefficiency, looking for errors, looking for reasons to prove she was strong enough. That's when she saw Jamal using an old technique, a military pressure test, not in the company manual. Different meant wrong. Wrong meant weakness. Weakness meant failure. She didn't see a struggling single father, she saw a liability, so she fired him in front of everyone. Maximum impact, maximum control, maximum strength. She didn't ask questions, didn't check if his method actually worked, didn't see the way his hands trembled or the way his voice cracked when he mentioned his daughter's medicine. She just saw someone breaking her rules, and she eliminated the problem. The other mechanics watched Jamal leave. Some felt bad. Most stayed silent. One older mechanic, Walter, 62, worked there for 30 years. He shook his head. "That man knows things we don't." The younger guys laughed. "Yeah, like how to get fired." Walter didn't laugh. "His toolbox has Navy Special Warfare markings. I was in the service. I recognized them." They ignored him, old Walter seeing things again. But Walter kept staring at Jamal's empty workstation, at the military toolbox left behind, at the faded photo taped inside the locker. Jamal in a flight suit, younger, harder, standing in front of a helicopter. The photo was turned face down, like Jamal wanted to forget. That night, Jamal walked to the pharmacy, Nia's prescription in his hand, his last paycheck not enough. The pharmacist looked at him with pity. "I'm sorry, you're $40 short." Jamal stood there, silent, defeated. Nia needed that inhaler, and he had failed her. Behind him, someone cleared their throat. He turned. A woman in a Navy officer's uniform, commander's insignia on her collar. She was looking directly at him. "Jamal Carter?" He nodded slowly. "We've been looking for you, Lieutenant Commander." Jamal's face went pale. "That's not my name anymore." She stepped closer. "The Navy disagrees, sir." Back at the shop, word spread fast. Jamal got fired. CEO took him down in front of everyone. Brutal. The younger mechanics gathered around the break room. Someone laughed. "Guess his military tricks didn't work out." Another one chimed in. "Should have followed the manual like everyone else." Probably lied about needing medicine money, too. They didn't know. Didn't care. Humiliation was entertainment. Walter, the older mechanic, stayed quiet, but his jaw was tight. Meanwhile, Victoria sat in her office reviewing the day's decisions. Firing Jamal felt right, felt strong, felt like control. But something nagged at her. She pulled up the security camera footage, rewound to Jamal's workstation, watched him perform the pressure test. He moved with precision, confidence, muscle memory. Not like someone guessing, like someone who'd done it 1,000 times in high-stakes situations. She zoomed in, watched his hand movements. Then she opened her laptop, searched military automotive repair techniques. 5 minutes later, her face went pale. Jamal's method wasn't wrong. It was advanced, designed for rapid field repairs under combat conditions. Accuracy rate, 98%. Standard manual method, 73%. She'd fired him for being better. Her hand trembled slightly. She closed the laptop, pushed the feeling down. "I made the decision, I stand by it." But the doubt, it stayed. That evening, Jamal walked Nia home from school. She was wheezing more than usual. "Dad, I need my inhaler." Jamal's stomach dropped. "I know, sweetie. We're going to get it right now." They walked to the pharmacy, 3 blocks. Nia's breathing getting worse. Inside, the pharmacist saw them, sympathy in her eyes. "Mr. Carter, I'm sorry. You're still short $40. Jamal pulled out his wallet, counted bills, counted coins. $38.17. Not enough. Nia tugged his sleeve. "It's okay, Dad. I can breathe." She couldn't. He could hear the struggle. Other customers stared. Jamal felt their judgment, their pity. He was a father who couldn't afford medicine, a man who couldn't provide. The pharmacist leaned in, whispered, "I can give you a sample. Just this once." Jamal's eyes burned. "Thank you." Outside, he helped Nia with the inhaler, watched her breathe in ease. She looked up at him. "You're the best dad ever." He pulled her close, hid his face, because he didn't feel like the best. He felt like a failure. Then the sound. Rotor blades distant but unmistakable. Jamal's head snapped up. Instinct took over. MH-60R Seahawk variant. Navy Special Operations Transport. Why would it be here? The helicopter appeared over the buildings, descended toward the parking lot behind the pharmacy. People stopped, phones out, recording. The side door opened. A female officer, commander rank, jumped out. She walked directly to Jamal and Nia, knelt down in front of Nia. "Hi, sweetheart. What's your name?" "Nia." Shy. The officer smiled warmly, reached into her pocket, pulled out a challenge coin. Navy Special Warfare, eagle engraved, gold trim. She pressed it into Nia's hand. "This belongs to your dad. He earned it saving 14 lives. Nia looked at the coin, then at her father. "Dad, what does she mean?" Jamal's voice barely there. "It's nothing." The officer stood, looked at Jamal. "Lieutenant Commander, the Admiral sent me personally." Jamal shook his head. "I'm not Operation Black Tide. You're the only survivor who can identify the radar signature." The crowd pressed closer, listening, recording everything. Jamal's voice hardened. "I left that life." The officer's tone changed, formal now. "A soldier is missing. Last known position, Gulf of Aden, 48 hours ago." She pulled out a tablet, showed him scrambled radar data. "You flew this exact route 17 times. You know the signal pattern." Jamal stared at the screen, his mind already working. He saw it. The anomaly. 3rd sector, low altitude return. "That's not debris," he said quietly. "That's a downed bird, pilot still transmitting." The officer's eyes widened. "You can see that from this?" Jamal pointed. "Frequency shift here means rotor drag. He's alive, hiding the helo." The crowd murmured. Someone shouted, "He's like a superhero!" Nia gripped her dad's hand tighter. "Dad, you save people?" Jamal knelt down, eye level with her. "I used to, baby, a long time ago." "Why did you stop?" His voice cracked. "Because I couldn't save everyone." The officer placed a hand on his shoulder. "But you can save this one, sir." Back at Sterling Automotive, Victoria's assistant rushed into her office. "Ma'am, you need to see this." She pulled up her phone. A viral video, already 2 million views. The title, "Fired Mechanic Revealed as Navy Hero." Victoria watched, frozen. Watched Jamal analyze military radar data in a pharmacy parking lot. Watched the officer call him Sir. Watched the crowd's reaction. Watched Nia looking at her father like he was a stranger. The comment section exploded. "CEO fired a hero. This company should be ashamed. Boycott Sterling Automotive." Victoria's phone rang. The board chairman, his voice furious. "You fired a decorated military officer. Do you know what this does to our reputation?" Victoria couldn't speak. She'd destroyed a man's dignity for following his training, for being excellent. The chairman continued, "Fix this now, or you're out." The line went dead. Victoria sat in silence, staring at the video, at Jamal's face, tired, aching, trying to protect his daughter from the truth. She'd seen him as a problem. He was a hero, hiding in plain sight. The next morning, Navy officials arrived at Sterling Automotive. They needed Jamal's full analysis. They needed it done now, and they needed a secure location. The Admiral's directive was clear. Bring Lieutenant Commander Raven 6, whatever it takes. Victoria stood at her office window, watching military personnel set up in her conference room, watching her employees whisper and point, watching her company's reputation crumble because she'd been too proud, too rigid, too blind to see the man behind the coveralls. Walter, the old mechanic, knocked on her door. "Ma'am, I tried to tell you Jamal was special." Victoria turned. "Why didn't you say something louder?" Walter shrugged sadly. "Would you have listened?" She had no answer, because they both knew she wouldn't have. Comment, respect, if you believe true heroes never brag about their past. The conference room filled with Navy personnel, laptops, secure communications, classified equipment. Jamal stood at the door, still in his oil-stained coveralls. The Admiral, 62, silver hair, 3 rows of medals. He stood when Jamal entered, extended his hand. "Lieutenant Commander Carter, thank you for coming." Jamal didn't take the hand. "I'm not Lieutenant Commander anymore, sir." The Admiral's expression softened. Son, you'll always be Raven 6 to us." Jamal's jaw tightened. The Admiral gestured to a chair. "Sit, please." Jamal sat. Nia was with a neighbor, safe. That's all that mattered. The Admiral pulled up a holographic display. Satellite imagery, radar signatures, weather patterns. "Operation Black Tide, 5 years ago." Jamal's hands clenched. "I know what it was." "Then you know why we need you." The Admiral zoomed in on the Gulf of Aden. "Lieutenant Brandon Mitchell, 34, helicopter pilot, missing 48 hours." He pulled up a photo. Young face, confident smile. Jamal's breath caught. "He was part of the new squadron, trained on the same routes you flew." The Admiral's voice dropped. "The same routes where you lost your team." Jamal stood abruptly. "I can't do this." "You already did, at the pharmacy. You identified the signature in 10 seconds. Jamal turned away. "That doesn't mean I can save him." The Admiral stood, walked closer. "You saved 14 men during black tide, under fire, in a storm, with a damaged aircraft." Jamal's voice broke. "I lost 3. You saved 14. I should have saved 17. The room went silent. The Admiral placed a hand on Jamal's shoulder. "The 3 you lost, they made the choice. They held the line so the others could escape." Jamal's eyes burned. "I was the pilot. I was responsible." "You were a hero. You still are." Jamal shook his head. "Heroes don't quit. Heroes don't end up broke, working oil changes, unable to buy their kids' medicine." The Admiral's grip tightened. "Heroes do whatever it takes to protect what they love, even if it means leaving glory behind." Jamal looked up, met his eyes. The Admiral continued. "You didn't quit. You prioritized your daughter over your career, her safety over your reputation." He gestured to the data. "But right now, Brandon Mitchell has a daughter too. She's 6, waiting for her dad to come home." Jamal closed his eyes, saw Nia's face, imagined another little girl waiting, hoping. He opened his eyes. "Show me the full data." The room exhaled. Jamal spent the next 3 hours analyzing satellite passes, radio interference patterns, weather systems, ocean currents. His mind worked like it used to, fast, precise, relentless. The Navy personnel watched in awe. He saw connections they missed, patterns they couldn't identify. Finally, he pointed to a specific coordinate. "Here, 17 nautical miles off the Somali coast. He ditched in a coral reef system." The intelligence officer frowned. "Our scans show nothing there." Jamal zoomed in. "Because the coral creates a radar shadow. The helicopter's titanium frame is hidden beneath the reef structure." He pulled up tidal data. "He has maybe 8 hours before high tide covers the cockpit completely." The Admiral grabbed his radio. "Scramble rescue, now!" Meanwhile, outside the conference room, Victoria waited. She'd been standing there for 2 hours, watching through the glass, watching Jamal work. She'd never seen focus like that. Pure, absolute life-or-death concentration. This wasn't a mechanic. This was a warrior. The door opened. The Admiral stepped out. "Miss Sterling, we need to speak." They walked to her office. The Admiral closed the door. "Your employee, Jamal Carter. Do you know what he did?" Victoria's voice was quiet. "I'm learning." The Admiral pulled out a folder, handed it to her. She opened it. Service record, commendations, mission reports, Operation Black Tide, 17 Navy SEALs pinned down, enemy fire, storm conditions, 0 visibility. Lieutenant Commander Jamal Carter, call sign Raven 6, flew into the kill zone twice. First run extracted 14 men, damaged aircraft, hydraulics failing. He could have left, should have left. He went back for the last 3. Took enemy fire, engine hit, crash landing. He survived. His co-pilot, his crew chief, his gunner didn't. He pulled them from the wreckage, defended their bodies for 6 hours until rescue arrived. Victoria's hands shook. He saved 14 lives, and you're punishing him for losing 3 he couldn't save? The Admiral's voice was steel. I'm not punishing him. Life is. He punishes himself every single day. Victoria looked up, tears in her eyes. I fired him. I know. I humiliated him. I know. How do I fix this? The Admiral stood. You start by seeing him, really seeing him. He walked to the door, paused. Jamal Carter chose to leave the Navy not because he was weak, but because he found something stronger. What? A reason to live instead of a reason to die. He left. Victoria sat alone, staring at the folder, at Jamal's photo in uniform. Younger, harder, eyes that had seen too much. Then she pulled up the security footage again. Jamal in coveralls, smiling at co-workers, head down, working, hiding, not from shame, from pain. She grabbed her coat, drove to Jamal's apartment. It was small, run down, paint peeling. She knocked. Jamal opened the door, surprise on his face. Miss Sterling! She saw past him, saw Nia playing with the challenge coin, saw the empty fridge through the kitchen doorway, saw the medical bills stacked on the counter. She saw everything she'd been too blind to notice. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry. Jamal just stared. I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. I didn't try. Nia walked over, tugged Jamal's sleeve. Dad, is this the pretty lady from TV? Victoria knelt down, eye level with Nia. Hi, sweetheart, I'm Victoria. I work with your dad. Nia smiled. You look like a superhero, like Wonder Woman. Victoria laughed, a real laugh, first time in years. Your dad's the real superhero, Nia beamed. I know. Victoria stood, looked at Jamal. Can we talk? Jamal nodded. They stepped outside. Victoria took a breath. I was wrong about everything. You weren't breaking the rules. You were showing excellence. Jamal stayed quiet. I fired you because I was scared. Scared of being wrong. Scared of losing control. She met his eyes. You deserved respect. I gave you humiliation. I'm sorry. Jamal's voice was soft. I'm used to it. You shouldn't have to be. Silence stretched between them. Then Jamal spoke. They found Brandon Mitchell 2 hours ago, alive, because of the coordinates. Victoria's eyes widened. You saved him. Jamal shook his head. I just remembered. The ocean did the rest. You're still a hero. Jamal looked back at his apartment, at Nia through the window. I'm just a dad trying to keep my daughter safe. Victoria smiled sadly. Maybe that's the bravest thing of all. The next morning, emergency board meeting. Victoria stood at the head of the table. 8 board members, all older, all skeptical. The chairman spoke first. Miss Sterling, we're here to discuss your termination of Jamal Carter. Another board member chimed in. The PR disaster, the viral video, the boycott threats. We look like villains. Victoria took a breath. Gentlemen, I didn't call this meeting to defend myself. Silence. I called it to reinstate Jamal Carter with a promotion. The room exploded. Absolutely not. He's a floor worker. This sets a terrible precedent. The chairman banged his gavel. Miss Sterling, we cannot promote someone we just fired. It shows weakness. Victoria's voice cut through. No, firing him showed weakness. Bringing him back shows integrity. She pulled up the viral video on the big screen. This man identified a missing pilot's location in 10 seconds. The Navy couldn't do it in 48 hours. She pulled up his service record. This man saved 14 lives under fire in conditions that would kill most people. She looked each board member in the eye. And this company humiliated him in front of everyone for using a technique that was 98% accurate. The chairman leaned back. What are you proposing? Director of Technical Operations, full benefits, housing allowance, medical coverage for his daughter. That's a senior position. He's qualified. He has no degree. Victoria's voice rose. He has something better, real-world experience that saved lives. The room murmured. One older board member, retired general, spoke up. I know Operation Black Tide. It was classified, but I know. Everyone turned to him. If this is the same Raven 6, we owe him more than a job. We owe him our respect. He stood. I vote yes. One by one, hands raised. The chairman, last to vote, finally nodded. Approved. But Victoria, he has to accept. That afternoon, Victoria found Jamal at the elementary school. He was picking up Nia. Other parents stared. The viral video made him famous. Jamal hated it. Victoria approached carefully. Jamal, can we talk? He tensed. If this is about the video, I didn't ask for any of that. I know. That's not why I'm here. She handed him an envelope. What's this? Your new contract. If you want it. Jamal opened it. His eyes widened. Director of Technical Operations? This is a mistake. It's not. Victoria, I'm a mechanic. You're a leader. You just forgot. Jamal shook his head. I can't lead people. I couldn't even save my own crew. Victoria stepped closer. You saved 14. That crew survived because of you. 3 died because of me. 3 died serving. You survived to honor them. Jamal looked at Nia playing on the swings. Victoria continued. She deserves a father who doesn't have to work 3 shifts, who can afford her medicine, who can give her a future. Jamal's voice cracked. I don't deserve this. Yes, you do. Nia ran over, grabbed Jamal's hand. Dad, are you crying? He wiped his eyes. Happy tears, baby. Nia looked at Victoria. Are you making my dad happy? Victoria smiled. I'm trying. Nia pulled the challenge coin from her pocket, handed it to Victoria. You keep this, for helping my dad. Victoria knelt down, took the coin. Sweetie, this belongs to your dad. Nia shook her head. Dad says heroes share, so you're part of our team now. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. She looked at Jamal. He was smiling, really smiling, for the first time since she'd met him. Okay, Jamal said quietly. Okay, I'll take the job. For her. Victoria stood, extended her hand. Welcome back, Director Carter. Jamal shook it. Thank you, Miss Sterling. Call me Victoria. Nia jumped between them. We're Team Raven now. They both laughed. Real, genuine, healing laughter. 3 weeks later. Jamal's new office. Clean, organized. Photos of Nia on the desk. He wore a button-down shirt, still felt strange, but Nia had picked it out. Said he looked official. The technical team respected him, listened, learned. He taught them the military methods, the faster, more accurate ways. Productivity increased 23%. Quality control errors dropped to nearly 0. The board was impressed, but Jamal didn't care about that. He cared that he could afford Nia's medicine without counting coins. That afternoon, Victoria knocked on his door. Got a minute? Jamal gestured to a chair. She sat, looked nervous. I wanted to thank you. The company's reputation is recovering because of you. Jamal shook his head. I'm just doing the job. You're doing more than that. You're changing the culture here. She paused. People feel safe making suggestions, trying new things, because you listen. Jamal smiled slightly. In the military, good leaders listen. Bad leaders talk. Victoria laughed. I was a bad leader. You're learning. She pulled out the challenge coin. Nia's coin. I want to give this back. It belongs with your daughter. Jamal closed her hand around it. She gave it to you. She meant it. Victoria's eyes watered. Why? The Christie, I hurt you. I hurt her. Because she sees people the way I used to. Before war taught me to see threats. He stood, walked to the window. Nia still sees the good first. I want to protect that. Victoria joined him. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her." They stood in comfortable silence. Then Victoria spoke softly. "Jamal, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you ever stop seeing them? The ones you lost?" Jamal's voice was quiet. "No, but now I see the ones I saved too. That balance helps." Victoria nodded. "I'm trying to find that balance, between strength and compassion." Jamal looked at her. "You're getting there." Below them, through the window, Nia played in the company daycare. Happy, healthy, safe. Jamal's voice was barely a whisper. "She asked me last night if heroes ever get to rest." "What did you tell her?" "I said the best heroes find new battles worth fighting." Victoria smiled. "And what's your battle now?" Jamal watched Nia laugh. "Making sure she never has to fight mine." Victoria placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not fighting alone anymore." Jamal turned, smiled genuinely. "I know." Outside, the sound of helicopter blades, distant, fading. Jamal didn't flinch, didn't tense, just watched his daughter play, finally at peace. Sometimes we judge people by the uniform they wear, the title on their business card, the car they drive, the house they live in. We see the surface, and we stop looking. But beneath every ordinary face, there might be an extraordinary story. A single parent working 3 jobs, fighting for their child's future. A veteran carrying invisible scars, choosing peace over glory. A leader who learned humility through devastating loss. Jamal Carter didn't need a title to be a hero. He was a hero when he wore coveralls, when he counted coins at the pharmacy, when he chose his daughter over his pride. True honor doesn't demand recognition. It works quietly, serves humbly, protects fiercely. And when the moment comes, when someone needs saving, that honor rises. Not for applause, but because it's right. Victoria learned that judgment without understanding is cruelty, that control without compassion is tyranny, that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you were wrong. We all have the power to humiliate or to elevate, to destroy dignity or to restore it. The choice defines us, not our titles, not our wealth, not our authority. But how we treat people when we have the power to hurt them, that's when character shows. That's when heroes are made. Not on battlefields, but in everyday moments of kindness, respect, and human decency. Subscribe if you believe true honor never fades, no matter where life takes you.